few things, few things which we want to call out is we'll be talking about what kind of topics we can choose throughout this 2 hour session, right? Along with that, we respect each other's opinions here. No one is expert or no one is has least knowledge kind of thing. Everyone is same here. That is how we see in our forums. Everyone share their perspectives. In organizations, someone's perspective which worked for them following some frameworks might not have worked in the other organizations for other people. So we'll try to find some common perspectives to see how we can implement things, adapting to our best, right? So let's be more constructive discussion, right? Rather than, pinpointing. So anyways, as a moderators, we'll be managing these things, but request everyone to share their thoughts in each and every area so that we can take it forward. Thanks, Satish. Probably I think you can start off with your slides.
Sure. Let me just now I shared the link of the Slido, which we can use to post our questions, so that it will help us to have a conversation around it, right? So yes, whoever joined now, you can still use a scanner, QR code, or the slido.com and enter the code. You can do that. So the first question which we got is like, how agile project management will be impacted with AI? Is there a risk being consulting job? Who would like to go ahead and share their views? This session is not for Sharath or me. This is for everyone. Everyone's views, opinions, perspectives, or opinion. Feel free to share your thoughts.
And before you share your thoughts, just give a quick intro, like your name and where you're working. That gives, and your designation, that gives a fresh perspective to audience.
Yes.
Yeah, I would, my name is Richard. I'm based off in Ireland, and in recent times, I'm a member of SS Agile, and with recent postings, in my opinion, I think Agile Project Management would be impacted by AI. It is a positive thing, and on the contrary, there will be a downside to it. It's going to enhance the way we work, and conversely, it's going to impact the number of people that consulting companies would need to implement their jobs, because if they needed 20 people to carry out a task with the help of AI, and with what capabilities of AI, I think the job of 20 people would be conveniently managed by 5 people. And I think, in my opinion, it will be efficiently done by that 5 people to a very high standard, with the level of output we get from the various AI AI tools that we have in the market at the moment. That's my own take now. So the number of people that they would employ, there might be a downside. It might affect the number of people that will be out of job. But then if you are still on the job, it's going to help you deliver on the task that you have. I think that would be my take, really. Thank you.
Thanks, Richard. Anyone else want to add to that first question? What could be the impact of the AI in the agile project management?
Yeah,
and is there a risk being consultant job?
Yeah. So hi all. This is Vivek here. I'm working as a principal consultant in Infosys, Bangalore. So before I answer to this question, I would like to say thanks to Satish and Sharath, for doing this initiative. It is like a spreading the knowledge across the people, like-minded people. So I go with the whatever Richard has said the point. So it may get impact on the employment, but not with the roles that whatever we are doing, because we can do everything with the AI, but not all the management kind of things and all. It cannot be handled by the AI. For that, still the human beings, I mean, the humans are required to do the similar work, which cannot be done by the AI. So though we may call some APIs and all, we may simplify the work right now that whatever we are doing, but not all the things. Thank you. Over
Thanks,
to you,
Vivek, for having
Satish.
us.
Satish and Sharat, yeah.
Hello.
Thanks. Yes,
Hi.
Saurabh.
Hey, Satish. So, quick, just a couple of points more from me as well. Would you be impacted? So the answer would be yes or no, depending on what kind of role and what is that you bring into your day-to-day job, right? If you are doing mundane jobs, as in just facilitating daily Scrum or just filling in some Excel sheets about daily updates, yes, you are impacted. If you are bringing in your years of experience, your knowledge, your expertise in driving things a little faster, you are not impacted. And none of the AI tools can impact that stuff. AI is only impacting mundane stuff, things which are repetitive in types, right? We are developing AI for that kind of work right now. At least for now, nothing which is a human brings in type of emotional intelligence, expertise. If you have 20 years of experience into something, you have delivered something, you know what the risks, you can foresee those things. AI can see some things because it has been fed historical information. It cannot really predict something other than the historical things, right? But you, as his humans, bring in a different kind of human intelligence with your experience. So can AI impact agile coaching, Scrum Master? Theoretically, with the kind of stuff Scrum Guide and Agile Manifesto is built off, no. That's my take on.
Thanks, Saurabh. Thanks, Saurabh. Definitely valuable points. Dipesh,
Yes,
you
I
raised
think
your hand.
just add on to what the discussion is going on. We'll need, at this junction at least, I see that we'll need someone to validate the output given by AI. So I think those jobs are yet safe. I think, yeah, that validation, I don't think anyone can take it away, right? And that's where the experience will come in. That's where the common sense will come in. So yeah.
Definitely.
Yes.
Thanks, Dipesh.
Yes.
So, anyone else want to add the points?
I just want to add a couple of points. Recently, we have conducted this, retreat, right? Agile Coach Summit kind of thing. So, they're also experts, Agile Coaching Insights, sorry. So there also most of the experts who are seniors in the industry also express the same similar opinions which you guys have shared. There won't be any immediate threat with respect to AI in terms of how it's going to affect us. But down the line, it might build few capabilities where not only mundane work that will get automated, but it will be acquiring some capabilities which might be touching our day-to-day, responsibilities that we might be doing. So to make it more simple, immediately there is no threat, but in future we might see some amount of involvement through AI in our in our day-to-day life in project management aspect.
Definitely, that's a valid statement, Sharath. And we also heard or got to know
And I
as part of
think,
this agile coaching.
right,
Yes,
sorry, Satish, sorry to interrupt. I think it's a catch-up game, right? By the time these technologies get more mature, our frameworks also get more mature, right? So it's always a catch-up game. So, but anyways, there will be some impact in the future. Sorry, Satish, go ahead.
Sure. So, last week we had this Agile Network India session, which was organized in person event in Hyderabad. So I was part of the panelist, and we had a similar discussion of the AI, the impact, and everything, right? So the similar points or the similar thoughts came up as part of the panel discussion. So the impact will be there for sure by the implementation of the AI tools. Whether it is a positive impact or negative impact, it is based upon us, how we take it up or how we take care of the things. Right? A simple example, like recently we all observed as part of the World Cup match or matches, Indian team, they used the technology to identify who is the best fielder. Right? So, like that, the AI tools are helping us on top of what the skills or the capabilities which you already have, and we need to make sure how we can effectively make use of it to help us. We shouldn't see AI or anything as a competition to us. Will AI replace us? No, will not be. But the person who is using AI will replace us. So we need to make sure how we are, how well we are equipped with it, and how well we start making use of the AI tools. Same goes to the third question as well, whether the SM Agile coach role impacted. Yes, definitely the impact will be there. Many times we, in the forums also, in the one-on-one conversations, we get to know that I had been asked to send the meeting minutes of daily stand-up or the sprint planning, or maybe the retrospective or action items. Right now, we are recording the summary as part of the session. We are not making any notes. So the AI tool is helping us. The same way, if as Deepesh mentioned, right? If as a Scrum Master or as a Agile coach, we are just being there for facilitating or for taking the minutes of meeting and sending it, or sending the status reports. Definitely, there will be a negative impact for the roles or whoever is playing that role at that point of time, right? So, um, just to mention, like Atlassian, we all know Atlassian Jira, right? So Atlassian started bringing analytics as a new capability, which means all the reports, all the insights, the metrics which you are generating manually with the help of the reports which Jira as a tool is coming up. Now the analytics automatically will get generated. So what does it mean? We need to make use of those capabilities, and we need to see how well we take those things and help the teams improve their way of working, or how we can coach, train, or mentor the team. These are the capabilities we need to start focusing on as a Scrum Master or as a Agile coach. Same goes to the project management as well, right? So we can start getting all the templates, all the references, everything using these the AI tools. We can even prepare a presentation. Last week, I prepared one presentation using the AI tools. I just gave the input. This is the context. This is the topic I want to present. These are the number of slides I want to generate. The AI tool itself generated for me. So all that repetitive, redundant tasks which are not bringing value add could be helpful if in case we make use of the effective usage of the AI tools. Right. And just to add on, like recently, Bill Gates, if I'm not wrong, Bill Gates made a statement that by using these AI tools and the technologies, we can simply make it as a 4-day working instead of 5-day working, because the productivity will be increased, and the way we are doing the things, everything will be speed up, or everything we can bridge the gap. So we can still get the things done in a more effective and efficient way. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, I think we spent good amount of time on this topic. I think we can move forward, Satish.
Yes. Okay. So the next question. You are hired for a transformation role. How can you earn the management's trust? Since throughout the first few months, there is always a fear of failure. Who would like to go first?
Satish, I would just like to add this because
Sure.
I was into project manager role and I got a transformation project. The question which right now is asked is really true. How can we, predict that the project will be success or it's a failure? But how I started, I just understand if if you are a project manager, you should always understand what is the scope statement, how you forecast the things. If you know the scope statement, you can easily go for a schedule and rest of the part. But before that, you need to understand what kind of a transformation role you are into, whether it's in your bucket, it's a completely new design for you, it's completely out of the context, like you are doing something. Because I was into traditional waterfall approach and I moved to agile, it was some difficult thing. But you need to understand first what is the scope of the statement, your how's the scope, where is your end date is one of the important aspect. You started, but you never know how you are going to be end of the task. So you should have to understand what is the end date. And obviously you can take a help of your all the organizational processes from the project management perspective. What you have right now within your organization, how can you utilize that, whether it is in same project which you already worked on, or it's a completely new project, just like I say. So if it's a previously something 25% you can take from your organizational processes from your organization, it would be helpful at least for a base level. You can make your structure. So there are a couple of other points also as well, but yes, you always go with a positivity that you can do it. So which I does when I was into Wipro. It's a completely API cloud migration project, which is having a 1 year, I could say a date that you should have to complete this within a year. But successfully we managed to end or successfully deliver that project within 10 months, just because how you handle the things in the scope, your project
No,
management.
I think Bhavesh, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we got your question. Let give the opportunity to other people to answer your question. Anyone wants to take up? Please raise your hand.
Yes, Paniraj, you can go ahead.
Yeah. See, one thing like I just have a doubt in the question also. Like since throughout the first few months there is always a fear of failure, so it is like it's a history of the project. Like whenever somebody does a transformation, did they failed or like just wanted to
Hmm.
understand the question there.
Okay. I'm not sure, or maybe again a guess from my side.
Bhavesh,
It
you can
might be.
click clarify.
Yeah, is it for Bhavesh? The
What you're looking
question, I'm not sure whether question is raised by Bhavesh.
No,
Okay.
no.
Mhm.
I
No,
thought
Bhavesh
somebody.
is adding the points.
Acha.
Okay, okay.
Mm,
But
mm,
see,
mm,
yeah, I mean, since if we can see, like, I mean, if anybody's hired for a transformation, so the question was, how can we earn the management's trust? See, whenever we
Yes.
join any new organization or any role is offered to us, first
Mm,
we have to see how the organization perspective towards agile is, because every
mm,
organization, every leadership, their perspective is very different. Because I have worked as a scrum master in a couple of organizations. There it was totally different. I mean, somebody will treat is the scrum masters as just a facilitators and scrum as just a metrics collection. So it all depends how the
mm,
leadership sees agile as. So it's become challenging for us, and also it's a good opportunity, I could say, because I have also experienced it. Because my manager was thinking like, yeah, you guys are just for facilitating the calls and all and just sending the reports. So there it becomes actually a good opportunity for us to showcase like what exactly we does, because they always see scrum master as a role. But for me, and
mm,
as per the scrum guide also, it's an accountability. So we have to show like how accountable we are for the team, and what are basically our accountabilities for the team, beyond facilitating the calls. We are there for collaboration. We are there for a lot of things which the team does. We always support the team, we coach the team. So we have to see how the leadership perceives agile, and we have to make sure whatever the team we have been assigned to, we have to study a lot about the team, like how they were doing earlier, and what was their challenges, and what are the ways of working, what is the definition of done for them. So we have also to see everything, the dynamics of the team, and did they tried any frameworks earlier, did they fail, or what was the reason for their failures. So we have to undergo a lot of observation. We have to observe a lot of things. We have to make a lot of see a lot of data for the team also. Like suppose if the team is, some teams are like they say they are into the development team, but most of the time currently I am also working as a scrum master for my team, but most of the work for my team goes into the support. They do a lot of support activities for other teams because we are like a little bit a very dependent. A lot of teams are dependent on us, so most of the work for us in our team goes into support and very little goes into development. So we have to see what sort of the framework suits for the team when we go for the transformation. Like, because some of the teams we cannot just force scrum on them. There are different types of frameworks also available. So we have to say when we are moving towards a transformation for the team, we have to study the history for the team. We have to see, and then we have to decide what sort of the framework is suitable for the team and how can we go through the transformation. Because some of the leadership say yes, let's move to the scrum or let's move to the safe, but we have to see what are the prerequisites are. Does the team is satisfying the prerequisites? So I have to do all the observation like as per my understanding. Then actually then we can go to our leadership and we can earn their trust by showing like we can do some pilot projects on them, or we can do some sort of the experimenting on the teams. Then we can do. I mean, that's what my observation was like. Anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, or please update. Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks, Vaniraj. Danya?
Hi, Satish. Hi, Sharat. So
Danya, your voice is very low.
is it fine now?
A little bit, but still coming as low.
Okay, okay. Okay, is it better now?
Yes, no better.
Okay, so this is just my opinion of if you're hired for transformation. So, if you're hired for transformation, that means uh, you asking right questions for your leadership team is also one of the important work that you have to do it many times, right? Someone mentioned just now, scrum master is just labeled as a facilitator, and then a lot of offline communication that would happen, and they'll tag all the failures at the end, or for the first few months. So when it's not just for your team, or it is not just for your other team members, asking right questions, giving proper knowledge to your leadership team about the transformation, what does it transformation, and what we will arrive at the end of this. Okay, most of the organization, what happens is, whenever there is a pilot project or whenever there is a project in place, they just concentrate about the deliverables. How we do it, they are not worried. So we have to show the pros and the cons following this kind of we have to build that relationship or the trust with the senior leadership team, because what I understand is it's always at the top down, not from the bottom up. Okay, your team members might be happy with whatever the coaching or coordination or the facilitation you might do it might not reach to the leadership team. I'm saying this because I have gone through this phase, and this is my learnings. I might be wrong. It might vary from organization to organization, but having a proper understanding to the leadership team also is one important thing, so that you are not there in the fear of failure. This is just my thoughts, Satish.
Thanks, Danya. Yes. Anyone else want to add?
Yeah, please go ahead. I see 25 people here. Please go ahead and share your thoughts. There is nothing like right or wrong. We all are learning here. We came here for learning, right? Please go ahead and participate actively. Share your thoughts, your experiences in your current organization. Everyone is more or less a scrum master or an agile coach. They should go through these phases in some time or the other, right? So please go ahead and share your thoughts. I think a couple of people have newly joined. So the question is, if you are hired as for a transformation role, what is going to be your approach? How you gain the management trust, and how you overcome the failure phobia, I can say. All right, Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I hear someone.
Sorry for raising my hands. I think to add to that, I think the most important aspect of uh, transformation is first and foremost, the management has to be brought into the whole idea of transformation, because I've seen situations where management will say, we want to do agile. Most times it's just a bandwagon effect. They just want to do what everybody is doing because everybody is going the agile way. And for you to allay their fears of making sure that, okay, that what they've adopted is not going to fail, there's a need, because you're in constant communication with your team, the immediate teams that you're managing. There's a need for you to have, like, I can't remember the last speaker's name, the lady. It's top down. You have a lateral communication with your team because you're always with them. There's a need for you to go above and beyond the team environment. You need to communicate with the top hierarchy. Let them understand what you're doing. There has to be that openness, that transparency. Let them see the little gains that of what you're doing, how Agile is bringing about the change, the little wins, every little wins as compared to the traditional method of delivery they were using before that change. If that communication channel is there and you let them see every now and again what's the pros of the transformation, then I think you would have allayed their fears. Maybe I wouldn't say 90%, 70% of the time, you would have helped the management conquer the fear of failure. That, I think for me, that would be communication and then demonstrating the little gains, the little wins rather.
That's well said, Richard. Great. Thanks for your insights. Anyone else want to share their thoughts? I see 3-4 people joined just now. All right. Let me share my couple of perspectives. First of all, you need to understand for what kind of transformation you got hired for, right? Whether it is with respect to waterfall to agile transformation, or you need to adopt some scaled framework for which you got recruited the transformation coach, right? Or they want to implement, they are good at agile practices at the team level, then they want to do at the program portfolio level in terms of not agile practices but engineering practices, right? Or they want to uh, ensure that they want to implement that right from scratch. So there can be different kind of asks from the management for which you are asked to you get hired as a transformation coach, right? So first of all, you need to understand what is the perspective. That's why before accepting the offer itself, you need to understand, ask the people from that perspective, like why I'm getting hired, what is the need for the organization at this juncture. So that will give a clear picture to you when you are about to go into the organization, right? So once you are into the organization, then you need to sit while you observe and talk to teams at least for a week, because you are new to the organization, right? You need to keep observing things, like someone has already told, like at which stage the teams are as of today. Are they new to agile, or they are already into agile practices over a period of time and they want to move to some scaled framework? So these kind of observations you have to do, right? Basis the team's understanding. And not only at the team level, if you are hired as an enterprise coach at the enterprise level, what are the different structures that you have, and you need to closely observe those things for a while. At the same time, you need to have a start having a dialogue with the respective tech leaders and or agile leaders who are part of that organization, and have a concrete dialogue with them, like what is the why you hired me, what is the transformation role expected here, right? So through consistent dialogue, you will come to know what are their expectations, right? Real-time expectations. Based on that, you can plan that transformation plan, right? And get the buy-in from them, right? And parallelly, you will talk to the teams at the ground level, and you will present that transformation model. Of course, at different levels, you see a lot of resistance factors. People think like, we are in a comfortable position. Why new framework you are introducing? Someone might be asking, we are following all practices. I don't know why we need an agile course like this. Different people with different mindset come with those resistance factors. So we need to ensure how we need to help them understand the importance and why we are going through this transformation. That's how you will be helpful them to overcome that phase where you can start your journey with the transformation, right? Again, there also, like as someone said, instead of doing the big bang transformation, start with one pilot project where you have that linear mindset with the leadership. Start with that, show the results, because leadership, no matter how many slides you present, they are least bothered. They are bothered about the value outcomes, right? So show those outcomes with one pilot project, right? And then slowly scale the transformation to the other projects. We are asked to do a bunch of projects to be part of the transformation phase, then show the transformation plan and how you are going to do the transformation in different phases. So that's how I see. That's how you can build the trust, right? Once people start seeing the results from the other side and the kind of change they are expecting, obviously you are earning their trust. No need to buy the trust, right? And obviously that fear of failure, jo bhi hai, that will automatically go up. While we are talking here, it's not that easy, but everyone has their own situation when they join the organization to navigate their own path, taking all these parameters around you and provide the right path that will help the teams to succeed as well as from your side. So that is my 2 cents. I allow others to talk, probably maybe one more opinion before we move to the next question.
So one thing just to add on from my side is like two different perspectives come when we talk about the transformation. Who proposed the transformation? Whether we ourselves proposed it or whether we had been hired to implement the transformation plan proposed by someone else. Let's suppose Sharat proposed a transformation as a consultant and I had been hired to implement the transformation. So we understanding that transformation plan, what's the reason, what's the context, what's the background, also is required for us even before going ahead into the implementation or the transformation itself. If we ourselves are doing it, yes, definitely we need to consider all these, the logistics, what is the current mindset of the organization, the leaders, how the leaders are getting involved and everything. Simple thing is like the agile itself is talking about fail fast. Agile is not talking about no failure at all. No, failure might be there, but at the same time, how quickly, how we are tweaking, adjusting, and how we are learning and doing an inspect and adapt, that is what this agile is all about, right? So the same goes to the transformation role as well. So whenever we come up with a transformation plan, we need to constantly keep updating the progress to the leaders, stakeholders, so that there is one way we can gain the trust or we can gain the success into the implementation. Yes, Rekha?
Hey, hi. I was actually keen to see if anyone has any real-time example as such, wherein what I've seen is usually, let's say we are in a situation where we are dealing with the transformation, but then the the leadership, is there because everybody's moving there. They've got that entire COE established, but then they're not bought. Let's say they're not sold to the idea completely. what do you do now? Number one, the only thing you can do is you have to try and influence them. Now, if some of them are, little tough and like it's all set in their mind and they're like, oh, whatever. So what, I mean, are there few things anyone has tried, failed, or anyone tried and the needle did move? Because even for any sort of transformation, right, unless we definitely need big support from leadership as in leaders who understand what we are talking and be able to relate to it. Sorry for the long for being verbose actually.
So let me share my example, Rekha. In 2020, 21 November, I got hired as a Agile Transformation Coach in HDFC Airport. So, like as you said, there are different kind of people, people with different mindset, right? That's how I got into the leadership arena also, where the person who hired me is like having a very good agile mindset, agile thought leader, I can say, right? But the teams which I'm going to work with from the tech side, right? Tech HOD, lineup department, he is more from the traditional framework perspective, and they are so much strict and aligned to that. They started producing consistently different kind of metrics, which which we don't agree in the traditional world, right? Uh, so that was the kind of situation where we were in when I joined as a coach. So, you know, first dialogue, we were in a meeting and we had the first dialogue. We were trying to say that, Agile is going to help. This is going to be the transformation model which I am going to propose. Then, there is a mix of opinion, and the so-called top leader, he is completely negating to that because he know that he and his teams are in a very comfortable position. But that's how the dialogue went, and it got ended abruptly without any decision making. Right. Then again, we brought that kind of discussion in our alternate week meetings. That's where he asked us, okay, you are saying these many things. Can you come up with a presentation which will help us understand what we are going to do? As we want to see something practical where things are going to work, right? So then, after the next 2 weeks, I went ahead with a presentation to help them understand where we are as of today and why we need to switch to that framework, what are going to the benefits and what are going to be challenges that we are going to face if we are going through this transformation, right? There, I got only 10% buy-in from the leadership. So literally, whether you agree or not, it took me at least 3 to 4 months to convince the top leadership that there is going to be something that we are going to bring that change, right? While that means it's like a half agreement for them. They want to pitch in, but again, they are going back. They are allowing the teams to go for trainings, but their top leadership is not accepting. It's like a tug of war game.
Right.
Then slowly I started, there are a few projects where people got set with the agile practices, and I was doing trainings for them. So these people also started coming in, right? The other teams from that tech leadership side. So finally, they also started building those knowledge and started implementing slowly in their projects, right? And they passed on that message to the man. Somewhere it got percolated to the senior management. And that's how the leadership understood those perspectives and thought that, okay, let's give it a try, right? That's how the transformation started in the other part, right? Finally, it took, after 4 to 5 months, they also got convinced. They also told like, okay, we have understood your transformation plan. Let's start with some pilot projects, train these people, help them understand how. That's how the journey started and moved forward.
Wow,
So
man,
today,
long and ordeal road.
yeah, today it's almost 2 years that I completed. Almost, in our innovation space, most of the teams have moved to agile ways of working. Some team started adopting the scale framework. At the same time, from the tech side also, we have some teams And also we have implemented few projects from the partner side. Partner side, they comes by default with the agile ways of working. So that impact is also there on these traditional teams, because they also hearing the success stories and everything, they also got most enthused.
So,
But yeah,
one was the training, two was the as in the best practices from their neighborhood teams that got them indirectly motivated.
yeah, at every stage, once you propose a transformation plan, right? First, you need to sit with the teams and help them understand why we are doing. Everywhere that why part should be addressed. Then people understand. People talk to other teams in terms of tools and how they are making the difference, right? Practices. Apart from that, we need to help them understand why part, taking department wise, or then anyways new projects keeps coming in, right? Then you already might have got the leadership buy-in, right? Then they will say that, hey, we are going to get new product, can we start implementing this? Already our teams got trained through you, can we start implementing? Then we get into the real time implementation. Of course there will be some challenges, you keep addressing. That's
Right,
how you need to implement.
right. So, Sharad, when you were keeping at it consistently, right? So, what do you think really clicked with them when you start talking about your why factors there as to why? Were you stressing on the value that the deliverables are going to have, or the pace that deliverables are going to have? What did resonate most when you, I mean, I'm sure you would have tried different options, or you believed in one and you kept at it.
Yeah, one thing is we need to help them understand the pros and cons, difference between the traditional approach and the new approach.
Right.
That is where people get, most of the people get buy-in. They'll
Hmm.
they might be having hundreds of questions. You need to
Hmm.
address them. How we do this practice, how we do in agile ways of working. What
Okay.
is the difference
Okay.
between traditional ways and new ways? So that's where you will get the buy-in, right? How you
Hmm.
achieve the value at the earliest, how you can do the trade-off. Say, for example, here we continue, say, for 6 months. Here, you might
Could
through
be two
sprints,
sprints, three sprints, yeah.
where you can take the trade-off that we got most value in those sprints itself. We can't extend the product. Let's invest that value, invest that amount
Time
and
and
energy
money.
into the different product, right? So
Yeah.
that is how you need to help them understand. That's how
Got
you
it.
can get
Got it.
buy-in.
Thank you.
And that is my experience. Of course, there are a
Yeah,
lot of
that is what I was looking at, because
right,
when we look at Google and we look at so much stuff, right? There is definitely a lot of material out there which talks about the ideal world, but let's face it, it's far from where we talk, right? You
right,
you have to try different things, because this is the reality. As you know, I am undergoing those interviews and those interactions, right? And I do realize this is the gap and this is the resistance. Like the
right,
technical people, especially when I say technical people, the technical leaders who make the decisions, and the agility leaders, right? There's that gap. Normally, the struggle lies there. You want to be selling the idea to the tech leaders who influence the team more than anybody else.
right. It's
Thank
a
you.
organizational movement, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Nowadays, you are seeing a lot of agile tech leaders, because people who own that and start gelling with the agile leaders to make the transformation happen. So
Yeah.
some movement will be there from the top leadership also, in terms of what kind of future leaders we can really have, or they have to transform. It's not a choice, it's a must.
Right. And actually is actually leads, this is a segue to the trait that we are talking about, the budding agile leaders that we're talking about, the coaches, scrum masters that we are talking about. Because if we just keep talking about what we've learned or the best practices, probably that doesn't take us that far, as much as we have to talk through Gauge and then talk through it ourselves.
Right. Anyone else want to? Thanks, Rekha, yeah, for bringing this.
Thank
Anyone wants to share their transformation stories? How they are implemented, how it helped? I'm sure, I think, yeah. Satish, you want to share some fresh perspective?
I want to share about the digital transformation plan which we implemented, not the agile. We are already agile at that point of time, but we were migrating the consumer banking application from a typical existing website and the mobile app into a digital website. We are revising or revamping the website and the app, both the things. So the client, I'm a vendor at that point of time. The client team, the architect and them, they came up with different options, just a replica of what is there currently existing versus how they want to. It's just a copy paste of the UI look and feel and everything, because they don't want to give any trouble or challenge to the customers, the actual end users who are using the application, whether it's a banking or the mobile app, right? Whereas we proposed a different thought process, stating that, hey, when we are upgrading or when we are migrating or doing this transformation, why don't we simplify it? Why don't we use a different flavor, and why don't we summarize and bring both the web and mobile application into a similar seamless experience? And obviously we got a pushback from the client saying that, hey, we are the client, you have to do whatever we propose, you have to follow and implement the architecture, the approach, whatever they suggested. Right? We did a small POC in couple of days, and we showcased what could be the benefit of doing it, or how it can be beneficial for the end users by bringing in a seamless experience between the mobile app versus the web application. And after a couple of discussions, they agreed for that. And with that process, we reduced the different client interactions, and the application was very smooth now compared to the previous existing one. A simple example is like, there are different up to 12 ways how a banking customer can raise a new credit card. Right? I'm giving a banking example, right? So we simplified it and we made it like 6. That reduced the overall time, and the overall implementation process, overall thing and everything. The customer still has that the remaining 6 options as well, whereas we are redirecting them to make use of one of the existing 6. How we got to know that? We did the analysis, we did the past 10 years of data. What are the different ways, different approaches the customers are raising a new credit card request? So that approach helped us in the digital transformation, and that reduced the timelines like anything. The initial plan was like to complete it in 2 years, which now we got it completed within 10 months.
Yeah, I mean, I can relate to what you're talking. I mean, literally, we call it lift and shift, but that's not true, because
That's true.
something that was built, we cannot start. We can start on that premise, but it literally that's not feasible sometimes, given the technology upgradation, given what we are talking.
That's my experience of the digital transformation.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Let's move on to the next one. Who would like to take it up? Which one is better, SAFe 6.0 or DeVops for career progression? The continuation is PMP certification helps in Agile project management. 2 parts in the same thing. Who would like to go first?
I can try to answer that, not completely, but some part of it. See,
Sure.
I also usually ask my man.
Fanilas, you're on mute.
Sorry, I'm on mute. See, this sort of question usually I ask my manager some of the times, like, which one is better? Can you suggest me? So then they used to ask me, like, what exactly you are looking for? What is your way, your thought process, or what exactly you want? It's not something like I can suggest, which is a very good certification in the market. Suppose like now AI is trending and Chat GPT is trending. So now I can suggest those certifications for you. Go do the courses and all. You can your career will be in a very good shape. But but we have to see what exactly we are looking for. Suppose in my organization now currently there is a scaled agile framework, but in my earlier organization it was not there. So when I do the certifications in that area also, I don't get a chance to explore in my previous organization because there was no scaled agile framework at all implemented there. So even if I do certification, that would be for my learning purpose, but I cannot practice there, I cannot try to implement there because there was no scope at all. So when we say which one is better, I think we should first of all do a thorough research on it, and we have to be very clear in our mind, like what exactly do we need, or what exactly are we looking for? Because some of the members, like as an Scrum Master, sometimes even I feel like, can I move to the product owner because I want to become a product owner? Sometimes I feel like I'll move to RTE, I'll become an agile coach. So every time different things come up in our mind, different things will be coming up in our mind, and it'll be popping up. So first of all, we need to have a clarity like what exactly we need. And yes, I think PMP certification definitely will help actually in the Agile project management because Scrum Masters earlier they were in 2017 or 18, I could see my friends became Scrum Masters there. It was basically they were doing the facilitation. Frankly speaking, they were just doing the facilitation. But nowadays, if you see the requirements from the organizations when we are getting interviewed, they're looking more from a Scrum Master perspective. They are looking at ourselves as a delivery managers. In my previous org currently now, Scrum Masters, they've clearly told, my manager clearly told, they're like, you are no more just doing the facilitation. If I ask anything about your project, you should be in a position to tell me the status about your sprint exactly, what exactly is going on, what are the blockers, what are you doing there. So they're looking us more like a delivery managers or like the planning of the projects and all, whether it might be sprints also. Even if there is no scaled agile framework in my current talk, we do the quarterly planning, so we do a lot of planning activities there, and PMP definitely help us like to do a better planning of a project, and also I think it will help. That's what. But the DevOps for career progression, that I am not sure, but we should be clear what exactly we are looking for. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Funny, if I may add, nowadays looks like this is more like full stack Scrum Master or
Yes,
full
yes,
stack
yeah.
coaches.
Somebody will say like 60% you have to do development and 40% it's a Scrum Master. So it all depends on organizations also. We cannot blame them. It comes as a part of budgeting issues also there because I could really see some of the organizations where they have removed most of the Scrum Masters there because there were a lot of budgeting issues. The company was, I mean, the vertical which my friend was working into, it went into a lot of organizational changes. So based on that, they have restructured a lot, and Scrum Master was the first who got affected because of that restructuring plan. So it all
And
depends on the
you're
management also.
bang on. Actually, this is the trend. There are at least not many organizations are looking at it from a purist view. No, it is a amalgamation of multiple hats that you've got to put on. So that's the reality these days.
That's
So
really challenging,
here,
and I feel it's
Yeah.
interesting as well there. I mean, if you're
yeah,
able to pick up such roles.
here I feel
Yes.
thanks Rekha and Pani for sharing your perspective. Since
Yeah.
people are not
I
unmuting, yeah,
hello. Am I audible?
one new person unmuted. Damodar, go ahead.
Yeah.
I just want to pick
Thanks,
you.
Sirath. I'm trying to list. Yeah. In my perspective, I think I just joined a little bit late. Sorry for that. Yeah. The question itself is like Safe 6.0 is, as of now my knowledge, it is predominantly for the management way in the Agile perspective, whereas the DevOps is the technically the people who wanted to be go into that may be the career progress perspective. If coming into that safe I said like the Scrum Master, Advanced Scrum Master, and then RTE. Then this is the way of journey it goes. Yeah, and again, the customer perspective. If you come to the PMP or in the regional wise, and there are some, for example, the US customers they keen to see that the PMP certification when compared to that Prince 2 certification. When it comes to that the UK region or the Europe region, they are preferred to the Prince 2 certification. To tell which customer you are working under, that what domain you are working, then that is also be placed into that while taking into that the certifications, and also to that the safe is also be not, I mean, if the customer is already well versed with the Scrum, then are willing to go into that safe, I don't know, I mean safe 6.0 is mentioned, why it is because of this is the latest version in the question. If coming to the safe, if the really the customer is looking in the within the organization is going to the safe adoption, then it is good to go into that journey, or else move out from switching out from the customer and then look into that your career growth, if you are looking into that explicitly on the safe, or the combination of safe and DevOps, it's really give that the good career growth in my view.
Thanks, Damodar. Richard?
Yeah,
Thank you.
question actually speaks to me directly because I'm at a crossroad like this. Because at the minute I am a certified Scrum Master, I have SAFe 6.0 and I have my PMP. So at the minute, I'm actually at a crossroad of asking myself, should I go fully into DevOps? Why I'm asking this question is because I realize that the Scrum roles are on the decline. And like one of the speaker mentioned, the ask by most companies now is usually beyond the basic Scrum Master role. They want somebody who understands a bit of the traditional, project management role, where you can, where you're able to talk about the project from cost, resource point of view, managing stakeholders and all that. So I think the person who asked this question might be asking, should I go fully into DevOps? I'm sure he's not talking about just having peripheral idea of should I understand the basics of DevOps? I think the person is asking in terms of, should I move from being a Scrum Master or a delivery manager into the role of DevOps, where I'll be safe, where I know I can have a career progression, rather than being a Scrum Master where the roles are on the decline. If I understand the person very well, I think I'm at this crossroad myself. I'm asking myself, should I continue to be a Scrum Master, or should I just go full head on straight into DevOps and then follow a career path? I think that's what this question is trying to ask in this regard.
Thanks, Richard. Anyone else want to add their points?
See, from my side, what I think is from the framework perspective, if you see the SAFe framework, it itself, it's like a big house, right? Where it touches different areas with respect to the product, right? With respect to DevOps, CI/CD automation, with respect to portfolio level agility, business agility, a lot of areas. So that itself is a bigger piece which addresses all these things. But I think here the question is different, whether you want to go for SAFe 6.0 or DevOps, right? It depends on their domain background, which he or she worked over a period of time. If they are into the technical domain and have good understanding of this thing, probably they can go for DevOps, which will help their career to be in a better position. SAFe 6.3, that scaled framework is something, if you want to, if there is a need at the enterprise level where people want to implement that, and you need to be part of that. If there is that dire need, then you have to opt for those kind of things. Or if you see something in the near term future, maybe in the next 6 months, organization has taken a decision like, okay, in the next year, let's move forward with the adopting some scaled framework because we have that need. So you need to sense that as an individual, what is going to be your target personal, as someone told, for plus organization, what it is expecting. You need to mix and match both the things and take that decision. Apart from this, organizations are looking for the pie-shaped skills. Pie-shaped skills means earlier we used to talk about I-shaped and T-shaped, right? You need to have domain understanding of a single capability, and across the capabilities, you need to have a very good understanding. That is T-shaped. I-shaped is only single skill. Now people are talking about pie-shaped skills, where not only your domain areas, suppose you are good at facilitating, you are good at as a scrum master, you are good as a coach, but how about the other skills? Yeah, are you good in terms of DeVops or CI/CD automation knowledge, AWS knowledge? Are you good in terms of test automation knowledge? Are you good at engineering practices? So organizations are expecting this pie-shaped skills, right? And those kind of candidates with their resumes, strong resumes, are given more preference than the normal plain vanilla resume, right? So that's how you need to plan. Of course, PMP means, I think you have PMI ACP. If people can do that, probably that will help in the Agile project management. These are my thoughts.
Thanks, Sharath. Anyone else want to add?
Yeah, this is Madhu here.
Hi, Madhu.
So I did my SAFe 5.0 certification, just just to have a certification, but I never got the opportunity to work on SAFe projects. Then I did my PMP certification. So now PMP has included agile practices also into the syllabus. But my core interest was in agile, so I did my PMI ACP also, followed by PMP. But PMI ACP, I think it helped me a lot. Because any project, if you go, they'll ask for project management, delivery management, little bit of program management. And even though, and they will say do Scrum Master role also. So it's a multiple hats for the same person. So in my previous organization, the technical head, I was working as a program manager. So the technical head asked me, okay, you have so many certifications, you have experience in Agile. Why don't you implement Scrum in his vertical? But I'm a program manager, my reporting manager never allowed me to do that. Because my manager are mostly interested into program management. So the conflict between the leadership itself was coming in. On one side, I was implementing, and there was no support from a manager itself. And the CTO says, go ahead and implement Scrum. Let's implement Scrum. But that from the CTO downstream, that message is not passing, and nobody is putting a responsibility and saying, this is the person who is going to transform or implement Scrum in this vertical, because they want to do as a pilot. So there is a clash between the management itself, and finally I dropped and resigned from the organization. So recently, past 1 month, I have joined a small organization where I'm right now. I'm doing the agile transformation. So I'm directly involving with the CEO and CIO. So they are very helpful, and they are pushing me do the transformation as soon as possible. So which is a good experience for me.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Madhu, for sharing your thoughts. So, anyone else want to add before I share my thoughts?
Go ahead, Satish.
Okay. So, if you ask me which one is better, SAFe 6.0, DevOps, or PMP, I will say none of the above. I will say all of the above, right? So, reason, SAFe is a enterprise level framework. Just by one of us doing it will not help in any aspect. As Faniraz mentioned, right? So we might be certified in SAFe, but what if, just now Madhu also mentioned, what if the leadership is not in sync, not ready to let us implement, or let us even forget about SAFe, not even about the Scrum, right? So just don't do any certification or any course for the namesake, or just for, because like many times we get the folks comments or one-on-one messages that Satish, I saw this job opportunity, they're asking PMP, shall I go ahead and do the PMP? Any certification, whether it is PMP, SAFe or DevOps, don't do just for the job purpose, or don't do just for that one single position. We need to do the analysis or assessment of how it could be really helpful for us, whether it is just for that single job or that single company, or whether it is for everything as such on a whole, right? Coming back to the SAFe is like a enterprise level implementation. And if in case the organization is already implementing SAFe, and if in case you are planning to join an organization where they're already implementing SAFe, then yes, definitely it could be helpful. But again, just doing the certification will not help, because in the panel, in the discussions, they won't just ask the theoretical questions of the framework. They will be asking about the actual implementation challenges or the aspects. Without having the real-time challenge, we might not get that feel, or we might not be able to answer or justify the scenarios or the situations which they will be bringing up. Okay? So that's the one thing about the SAFe. Coming to the DevOps, we need to understand what's the DevOps aspect, right? We know that the continuous integration deployment and the DevOps team will help with the implementation, deployment to production, and everything. Kindly do the assessment of how many job opportunities are coming for DevOps. Just to give an example, for our organization, we have hardly 20 DevOps folks out of like 4,000 employees, which means there are different skill sets, different experience. 3,980 folks, only 20 of them are DevOps related. Right? So just by doing a DevOps course will not help us in getting a DevOps job as well. And DevOps need a lot of coding, expertise and everything. So we need to focus really, if in case someone is really interested in the DevOps for the career progression, again, just don't do a course. We need to do lots of practice, lots of implementation, and DevOps helps a lot in failing. Only when we fail in the CI/CD pipeline integration, or the building the pipeline, or doing the deployment, that's when we can learn actually from the DevOps. So try to see if you can get any good mentor from the DevOps perspective. It's not just for the course, or it's not just for the certification. Try to see how you can get the real-time experience, hands-on experience of the DevOps. Only then it can help for the career progression. Right? Now coming to the PMP, I did my PMP because I am from a Scrum Master role. I am moving into Agile Coach role. So that's when I plan to do a PMP. I finished it. I did my PMP ACP as well. How it helped me, and like whenever I had to go back and have a conversation with my leaders or my clients, my stakeholders who are coming from typical PMP background. They don't know anything about Agile, or they don't know anything about Scrum or SAFe, Kanban, forget about it. They will be purely talking about the typical project management terminology. In that context, having a PMP knowledge or certification helped me individually to gain trust, or to have a conversation with them in their terminology, right? Now, the latest version of PMP, PMBOK 7 or PMBOK 6 itself, they started implementing the agile concepts. So before going for PMP, the application itself we need to showcase the project management experience. It is not a role, no need to play the role of a project manager, but or the designation as a project manager, but we need to showcase the experience of project management, even to fill in the application. And we might get a audit, and we might get a question. Satish, you mentioned 20 months of experience in this project management. Can you get a approval or can you get a letter from your reporting manager on your organization letterhead or through official email? So we should be able to justify, we should be able to showcase that certification to the PMI. So these are all the factors we need to consider even before going for that PMP certification itself. All right? Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, great
Yes.
insight, Satish. I think we can move forward to the next question.
Okay. The next question, what are the examples of preferred minute taking tools? I will go on mute. I don't have an answer for this.
I think Microsoft Teams has come up with their feature. So I think there is a new feature in Microsoft Teams. They can automatically record and then put all the notes there. I haven't tried it.
We tried that, Madhu, just to add on, we tried that feature, but only thing is like it will help us only when we are recording the session. If we are not recording the session, like for example, daily stand up or anything as such, right? So then it won't capture the transcript. And recently I'm having a conversation with one of the stakeholder, one of the Scrum Master. They mentioned that their company, they don't allow to do any recordings. So that's where, again, it's the client specific or the organization specific, right? So they have some restrictions or limitations. That is where, I mean, maybe that might be the context also. What are the examples of these minute taking tools? I am not sure. I generally used to take notes manually, of course, before the AI. Now we are taking use of the AI tools. Even for today's session, we enabled the summary so that as soon as we complete the recording, we can get that summary. And if required, we can publish or share with the participants. But otherwise, I don't know any other tools which can help us without recording or without enabling itself.
People use Confluence also, no? Or minutes
If
of
it is now I got a different question, Sharat. Like if it is like automated minute taking tools, or is it just a tool? If it is just a tool, yes, we can simply use a notepad or OneNote or
Yeah,
even
every note. Yeah.
yeah, anything as such. But if it is like automatically generating the minutes, yes, that's where the question comes.
I think we can give one last minute if anyone wants to share any tools. Otherwise, let's move to the next question.
Yes, a component of the Zoom is also good in taking notes and action items. Sumant, in our organization, we are not allowed to use Zoom. We are using only, we used to have WebEx. Now we migrated totally into Teams, Microsoft Teams. Luckily, like we are asking the permission of the participants who is that session, and we are recording the session whenever we feel it is a important or discussion or anything as such. That's when it is helping us. Yes.
Suggesting, I think he's suggesting where organizations implement Zoom as their main tool.
That's true. That's true. That's what Zoom. We can use that a companion. I'm not sure a companion as such, but the summary is the thing which can help Sumant. You want to add any point, Sumant? If you have tried this.
Yeah, I had tried AI company in one project, and then it used to give action items and summary. And if somebody is joining late, let's say, so it will be good for that person to recover from whatever knowledge he lost. So
Yes, I enabled for this meeting, and I enabled the summary as well. So let me see how the summary and the AI companion comes up. Once this is done, I will share the pointers. Thanks, Sumant. Okay, let's move ahead. What are the additional asks if hired as an enterprise agile coach?
I think we should need some additional information before we answer this question. Additional to what?
What are the
Yeah, I had put that question there. So, the way it shaped up was what are the different asks or traits when compared to agile coach vis-a-vis enterprise agile coach? Like what else is someone need to be catering to see so that they can match themselves? I mean, if anyone has that kind of exposure, because I don't see many enterprise level coaches. As predominantly when you have, say, for like entire stuff moving. So is there a difference as such when you talk about enterprise coach versus like agile coach? That's where I was coming from.
Okay,
Uh,
got it.
yeah. So Rekha, if you are able to see my screen, I'm sharing one PDF. I can share in the group as well. So again, this is from the levels of agile coaching perspective, right? So team coaching, where they are just focused on the teams, like a senior scrum master or even a scrum master now is some cases, especially from safe perspective, they are calling it as a team coach. The agile
Right.
coach is like at the teams and in between the teams, like the stakeholders and the product owners and program managers or the product managers, engineering
Project
managers,
level.
project level or program level. That is what the agile coach is. The enterprise agile coach is the leaders, the organization level, and bringing in the overall enterprise level transformation and the culture, the strategies, mindset. That is what the typical responsibilities of an enterprise agile coach. Right.
Got
So
it. So
in that case, just to give an example, like we have three different streams of applications, right? So now I might be asked to come up with a transformation plan for maybe the first solution and maybe the second solution, third solution. I might have to come up with a roadmap of how I want to implement Agile in solution one versus solution two versus solution three, because all three are different. It's not the same. Right? Example like Amazon. If you take Amazon as an example, like Amazon, we have Amazon Shopping Cart, Amazon Movies, Amazon Web Services, Amazon Pay, different solutions. Right? Each solution caters to different customers, different stakeholders, and the different purpose itself. So, as an enterprise agile coach, you may have to come up with the transformation plan. You may have to even talk to the leadership team and get the buy-in or the support of the stakeholders. And we might even take the help of the agile coaches if in case they are there to drive this implementation altogether. We
so
might not be as an
the
enterprise coach.
scale
Mhm.
like all of these together, picking
Yes.
on the same example. So let's say Amazon is looking at moving their movie, their cards, their shopping, their, let's say, their platform, everything, and that's where this person is the overarching leader.
Exactly. Yes. The designation might be different. Like for us, we have a senior director agile transformation. We don't have a designation as enterprise agile coach. Right. So again, organization specific, the context specific, it might be different. But we can ask the leaders as well, or by looking at the job description, we can get more insights. What is that they are expecting us to do as an enterprise agile coach?
Hmm. Because whatever questions or the way we go about transition or our experiences, right? So this is what I had encountered
Mhm.
recently. So they were
Mm,
like, your responses are awesome when it comes to agile coach, but
mm,
we are looking at enterprise agile coach. And I was
yes.
candid enough, didn't want to waste anybody's time. I said, no, my exposure is this, and I'm good at this. I'm flexible enough to learn. And that's
Mhm.
how actually, you know what? That experience turned out so good. I was candid enough, and that person liked both of us being no nonsense. Actually, I said, you know what? Since you have good idea, why don't you be my mentor? And down
Mm,
the lane, I can learn from you.
mm,
So
mm,
it
mm.
actually turned out like that because You don't come across many people having that kind of experience.
Mm-hmm. Good to know that. Yes.
So that's why I was, this was very inquisitive, and I thought because we have all our like similar people here, might help to throw this out in the open. And if people are coming across that, or if they think they have it in them, then they can start preparing themselves for that kind of role. Hence, I had
Definitely.
put that up there on purpose.
Sure. Thanks, Rekha, for that. Yeah. Anyone else? I shared this PDF in the chat window. You can take a look at it.
Yeah,
And
probably I'll have to go through this later. I'm taking it from
def
mobile, so hardly legible for
yes,
me.
yes.
I'll
Sure.
refer later.
I will
Thank you
share in
so
the
much.
groups. I will share in the groups as well.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
But
Morning.
anyone here who's actually doing the role of enterprise agile coach at this point in time? Just curious in case someone is doing. So we get real time like conversation with them. Just to know. Okay, not an issue. Thanks, Satish. This is very
Rekha,
timely. I don't know how you manage, but you were just on it. Thank you.
Sure.
Rekha, Sharath
Sharath,
here.
yes.
We can talk offline on the
Oh,
enterprise transformation.
sure, Sharath. You
Yeah.
see my ping.
No problem.
Yes, yeah. So to add on, like today morning, I was having a similar conversation with the PMI Hyderabad chapter, where I did a session and I use the same PDF for having the conversation. So the way how a Scrum Master has a competencies or the stances, Agile coaches also need to start focusing on the stances, like the teaching, mentoring, technical mastery, transformation mastery, business mastery, facilitating, the professional coaching, and agile lean practitioner. Majority of the cases, we are just ending up the facilitating, mentoring, and teaching. We are intentionally or knowingly, unknowingly ignoring or not focusing on the other aspects. So that is where we need to start focusing on these additional aspects as well. The technical mastery, just to mention, right? Recently, couple of organizations within India, they are unable to hire a technical agile coach. They got 150 plus applications, but none of the application is meeting their expectation. Now, don't say that it is over expectation of the organization. No, they are purely looking for a technical expert. What does a technical expert mean? Uh, who can just not saying the things, but helping the teams do the things as well. We all say that you need to do the deployment, continuous integration. We do the deployment on a regular basis. Satish, don't say, just help us do it. Right? So,
organic.
Organic, the TDD, BDD, and each and everything. That is what they're expecting because they want to go on full-paced agile. They're already agile, but they want to improve their way of working. They are looking for the technical experts. It is clearly listed in the job description. I saw that because I'm not a fit for that. I haven't applied, but I'm just telling the experiences, what happened in those interviews and everything, right? So that is what now we also need to start focusing on. If I say that, hey, I will just a theory guy. I will just teach theory. I will just talk the process, everything. I don't do anything. Yes, that's the first question we discussed. Will A impact? Yes, A might impact us, or maybe someone else who is more capable than us might impact us. Just don't be a process guy any point of time. So, if required, yes, we need to start expanding or exploring on this technical mastery as well. The transformation mastery, just know as the Rekha mentioned, right? So yes, there is a thing. How most of us might be Scrum Master or Agile coaches. So if in case no, we have to move or expand into the next level. That is what we need to start focusing on the transformation mastery. How we can drive the transformation at the organization level. When it's an organization, it could be maybe 100-member startup, or it could be Amazon, like lakhs of employees across the world. So it could be any size of the organization or any type of organization. We need to start focusing on how we can drive the transformation from the beginning to the end-to-end perspective. where are we currently, what is it we can do, and how we can get it done. Then the next thing is the business mastery. Most of us might have came from Scrum Master background to Agile coach role. If we had been asked to train, coach, or mentor a product owner or a product manager, we might get stuck. That is a damn sure. I know that, right? Because we never played that role. We we know what happens, what's the prioritization, what's the feature, how we do it, how we write it, and how we slice the stories, everything. We'll give the examples and everything. We might even make them do the hands-on activities. But if in case we have to actually coach, train, mentor a proper product owner, most of us might get stuck or might get challenged. So that is where, because we don't know the business domain. So the domain expertise is also plays an equal role. We don't need to know each and everything. We need to know at least what is the basic, the functionality, what is the ground level implementation of the business, what is the solution we are implementing about. Right? Without having that understanding, the technical mastery, transformation mastery, business mastery, we might get stuck at the agile coach level itself. Right?
Satish, I want to. Oh, you're done, Satish? Sorry.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. I have some more points. I will add later.
No, you complete. I'll add.
Yeah.
Complete.
So I'm not sure. Recently, during this week, a couple of days ago, there is one question asked in the forum, one of the forum in our SS Agile Gurus group, where one of the member mentioned that I see many folks who are in 15 to 20 years of experience got stuck at the agile coach role, how they have to focus to move ahead. Yes, these are the things we need to start focusing on. Where are we currently? What is that is required for us to start improving ourselves? How we can? So we might not get the opportunity every time. We need to create it, or we need to make use of it, and we need to see how we can start expanding. Yes, sir.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So from my perspective, see, industry-wide, there is no such role called enterprise agile coach. There is only role called agile coach. Industries have created that role so that they can facilitate who are the candidate capable of sorry, who are the candidates capable of they can represent at the enterprise level, right? So coming to the roles and responsibilities, right? Here, how I see it is people at the team level, they will be treated as team level coaches, right? Team level scrum masters. And then on top of that, people who drive at the program level with multiple programs. That is how people are treated as agile coaches, where they will be having exposure to multiple frameworks. There's a Scrum, Kanban, XP, or in having knowledge of these technical domains like DeVops, AWS, and all. So they will be driving the OKRs or whatever KPIs for the teams and driving the projects to create that value. So when it comes to the enterprise level, obviously your this thing will be increase. Your role will increase, where
Scope will
that person,
increase.
right, your bandwidth and scope will increase. Where from the enterprise perspective, how you are able to create that cultural transformation or business transformation or technical transformation or digital transformation at the enterprise level, right? Where it is a mammoth combination of all the programs. So usually, as Satish already told, people who has senior experience and has those exposure to those multiple transformations, they will be regarded as an enterprise coach level. Not only from this perspective, they need to take care of the overall enterprise level milestones, budgeting, right? If you implement a SAFe, I think it has categorically defined each and everything, which I think Satish is going to share in a while. What an enterprise agile coach can do at that level and create that leverage, right? Like an enterprise architect, right? So all these are pretty defined, Apart from that, how you work closely with the senior leadership to understand their expectations, understand the value streams, right? How you can leverage between operational, development value streams. You propose few things, practices, right? So these and apart from that, people talk about business agility, like Satish is showing on the screen, technical agility, data agility, architectural agility, how you propose this at the program level and get a measurable framework for that, not just proposing, talking and giving advice. How you create that, framework and measurable model. That's how leadership gets attracted, right? That's how they start listening to your things, because that those kind of things create value. So these are the different areas. Apart from that, see, enterprise means it's not only IT, right? It's all about HR, finance, supply chain, your marketing. So all these areas, do you have a bigger view as an enterprise agile coach to bring transformation in these areas also, at least at the starting level? Because IT as such got into its roots since years, but not the same case with other domains, other departments, right? So how you can share your thought process and try to bring the transformation. So these are the bigger stages or bigger areas where uh, an enterprise agile coach will focus on and start, creating value there. Apart from that, what Satish has shared here, there's a very good slide actually.
Thanks, Sharat. So my point is like again, like the Agile Manifesto is defined in Feb 2001. It is like already 22 years, 23 years coming up. Even before that, right? So IT teams are already there, already well established, especially thanks to pandemic one way. All the organizations started picking up the pace or bridging the gaps and everything. Now the focus is on beyond IT. That's where the business agility or enterprise agility is picking up like anything, right? So what is a business agility or beyond IT? The HR, marketing, finance, sales, or the tools teams, or any other, the complaints teams, all these teams need to be focused on how we can get the things done in the fast or quick, shortest possible way, right? Recently, we released a AI ML tool, the data analytics tool, in combination with Microsoft and in combination with Amazon for AWS and Microsoft Cloud, right? So what does it mean? It is not we as a one single organization. We are having a coordination and the contract agreement, everything with the Microsoft as a separate entity and with Amazon as a separate entity. So if that is the case, the IT teams are ready to do that. But what if your complaints team, who needs to get that the agreements and the contracts done, they are not up to the pace? They're taking their own time to get it done. Or what if the finance team is not ready to get the SOW contracts and everything signed up? Or what if the tools team, who helps with the implementation of the tools, installation, the upgrades and everything, who is not ready to or do that configurations and everything, right? And what if the HR is not ready, not able to identify the correct skill set of the team members requirements? Or what if they are taking their own time to onboard the new team members who is required for the requirements or the positions, right? So that is where the enterprise agile course or the business agility we are talking about, where we are just not focusing on the IT teams. We need to start expanding. We need to start focusing on the other aspects of the organization. When we say agile, no need to force them. Hey, HR team, you come and follow Scrum, do a daily stand up, do a sprint planning. No, not required. They might be using a simple Kanban or not even any of the tool. We just need to set the mindset of the how they can quickly coordinate with the IT teams, or the how the end-to-end implementation of the one single solution or multiple solutions within the organization can be done in the shortest possible way. That is what the value stream concept of the scale agile, right? So the moment the customer requirement is identified till the moment the customer, the value is delivered to the customer in the form of implementation. Each and every step we need each and every stakeholder, the HR, marketing, sales, these tools team, the complaints team, marketing team, each and every team, how they can come together and work together and get the work done in collaboration with these typical software IT teams. That is what we need to start focusing on. Does it help you, Rekha?
Yeah, it does. It certainly does, because I was the question was, have you transformed 5,000 plus people? I said no, I've not done that quantity. So it actually went well, but like I said, right, a lot of points for all of us to ponder as to if someone is like looking at next thing or create opportunities for themselves. So that could be another area for us to brace up as to, like you said, right? That was very valid point. Like, can I blindly follow the process and say, okay, I'm the enterprise coach and now HR, you do the daily scrum, then things will go bonkers, right? We, like you said, that's not what it is. What we're talking about is basically alignment, dependency mapping. I guess the focus and scope, all of them will be like that 50,000 feet high. So that's where we will talk. But no, it did help. Thank you so much.
Yes. And again, when we say enterprise agile coach, it's not like I will just tell or I will just define the transformation plan and my agile coaches will do. Might not be. Again, the expectations of the organizations keep on changing. We might also have to do it. We might take it up an additional responsibility and get it done as even as agile coach, because the enterprise agile coach, not every organization has that as a role defined. Example, my organization, we don't have a role as an enterprise agile coach, but we are doing all those things. So that's when I was quite, when you asked anyone playing the enterprise agile coach role, we don't have a role as such, but we are taking up that, talking to the leadership, the transformation, the agile mindset at the organization level, or bringing the other teams into this agile way of working. We are already doing in our organization perspective.
Just have a follow-up question. I mean, for that matter, to anyone on this group. Um, I think the way it is structured, right? One is if you talk, let's say, your whole organization is geared up or is into safe, then it's bit of a different ball game, right? You're talking about your STs, you're talking about your arts, then you're talking about your individual trains, like how your theme or your feature is trickling down the lane. Vis-a-vis our normal when you talk about the other framework, wherein you don't necessarily have all those roles or things in place. Nevertheless, you'll coordinate the way you covered it all, right? Just before this. So I believe the things are a little differently placed when you talk about safe. Am I right in saying so?
Not exactly, but the safe way of working is like it is not the hierarchies like ST, RT, the product management, product owners. Those are not the hierarchies, but those are the roles which is defined from the safe implementation perspective, right? So now, just to mention my context, we were in safe. Now we are no more in safe. But still, what we did is like we picked up what is the best practices followed
Best
from the
practices, yeah.
safe implementation perspective, the roles, the responsibilities, the context, how we are doing the PI planning or what is it required, how to track the dependencies, each and everything. We defined, we customized, we tweaked, we adjusted based upon our own context, right? So we define our own roles. Like we have the feature architects, we have the program managers, we have the product managers. Now we no more have RTs, STs, and ARTs, but still we have the equivalent responsibilities or equivalent roles defined. It will be based upon the organization context as well. To that point, Rega.
So you guys changed. I mean, you don't have the roles, but you still have those best practices carrying.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's no right or wrong to it, right? For that
Exactly.
matter. It's
What
like you
works
start
for
as is
us
where
might
please
not
end.
work for you or someone else.
True,
Yes.
true.
So that is what, like, even today morning in the discussion as well, Vinay was mentioning, uh, it is not the failure of the Agile, Scrum, or Safe or Kanban. It is a failure of either us as understanding it or the organization who tried to implement and saying that the Safe didn't help us or the Scrum didn't help us. No, they might have taken it in a different way, or they might have expected something else, which maybe the outcome might be different, or the way how it is implemented itself might be entirely different.
Yeah, yeah. That's why it is said it is easy to learn but difficult to practice and
It's like a
understand.
chess or any sport, right? The Agile
Yes,
itself
yes.
is like that. You can say just 4 manifesto statements and 12 principles. Yes. How we
Simply
are
put.
still sustaining, continuing, trying. We are still breaking our heads to understand it to some point.
Agree, agree. Oh, yes.
Okay.
So
Yes.
in
We have a
that
couple
case,
of more questions.
Satish, one quick question on this one, right? You
Sure.
mentioned that you moved away from saying that you're doing safe, but using the best practices as well as the rules which are kind of practiced or prescribed by safe, right?
Mhm.
So, and then I've seen myself in my organization and others they have done in the past, right? Is the reason merely saving of cost of doing all that and carrying it over, or is it something else as well which comes as a part of it, like practicing something else, some other tools utilizing with
Mhm.
inclusion of safe as well?
Mhm. It's not the cost as such, Saurabh. So yeah, cost could be one of the factor, but what is the main key factors which made us move out of it or think in a different way by just going out of it is like the way the changes are coming up. Right. So
Okay.
we used to do the PI planning, we used to do everything, but every now and then we used to get the changes.
Okay.
Right. So initially, when the agile implementation was started, we used to do a yearly deployment. So even if one PI, the change is coming up, so we still have some scope. We can get it done in the next PI, or we can still carry forward to the next second PI, and we can get it done like that. We used to do,
Mhm.
obviously, right? So, but
Okay.
now after some point of time, we moved into quarterly release. Now we started moving into monthly release, which means within one PI, we are doing about 3 releases,
Right.
right? So what's happening? Let's suppose we are doing a PI planning in November. November, we will discuss about December, January, February, 3 releases. By the end of December, the release is done and we got it deployed to production. The feedback we are getting is becoming an input to the second release or maybe the third release.
Of
So
course.
the team started raising concern when we have to keep on doing the changes. Is it really beneficial for us to do the PI planning?
Okay.
Right? So what we started as an experiment is like we cut short that PI planning time frame or the ceremonies to say that focus on the first release and try to come up with a high level plan for the second and third release.
Okay.
Right? But
Okay.
again, what happened is like just now I mentioned like we had to do a deployment or the code integration with the Microsoft and AWS. So initial plan is to do with the Google first, then AWS, then Microsoft.
Okay.
But once we started implementing, something happened in between and the Google was kept on hold. All of a sudden, Microsoft became priority.
Mhm.
The
Okay.
third priority became first priority. The first priority was kept on hold. The second priority still is second priority. So lot of changes will keep on coming every now and then. Right? So there is one main reason why we tried that rather than doing a quarterly PI planning, why don't you do a monthly release planning? That's where I mentioned we took the best practices and we said that we do monthly release planning. Still, it is like a shorter or a mini PI planning. We invite all the required teams or the stakeholders to discuss the dependencies, coordination, everything. And we do everything similar, but the naming convention, the way we are doing itself is entirely changed. Right?
Okay. Got
Now,
it.
our focus for 2024 is like because we already migrated to cloud from a typical server version, our plan or our focus is to do weekly deployment. Again, the question will come, if we are doing a weekly deployment for a 12-week PI, how much we can plan?
Yes.
Simple, right?
No, correct.
So
That's good. All the bigger organizations are going for as small
exactly.
deployments releases as possible. So
as quickly as
that works.
possible, as fast as possible. Again, when we say weekly, you won't be implementing entire Big Bang product or anything. Whatever is required, feasible, possible within that 1 week of time, we will deploy it and we will get the quick feedback and we will take it further. So these are the main reasons why we took the best practices from SAFe and we are trying to implement it to the possible extent in a simple, shorter, effective way.
Got it. Makes sense. Thank you.
Sure.
Yes.
Yes.
And this is something which I picked like recently, right? You mentioned a great deal as well earlier, right? If I try to tighten a screw with a hammer, it won't work. And same thing, if I tighten, if I want to put a nail with a screwdriver, it won't work. So it's not the tool which is a problem. It's just that how we're using a particular tool. And this is in context with Scrum, Kanban, SAFe, whatever it is. And how orgs are using it, who is the person who is using it, how the agile coaches, scrum masters, developers, leads, architects, how are they using that particular tool? So the tool won't fail the organization, it's just how somebody uses it. Yeah, thank you.
So in our case, we don't say SAFe never worked us, it helped us. But there is a reason we are taking best practice and continuing doing our way of working.
Yeah. So what you want to do is a nail, and then you had a screw as well. So you use the different thing, a combination of both the tools. So yeah, exactly.
Yes. Thanks, Saurabh, for bringing that point.
Thanks, please.
Okay, the next question.
So Satish, one thing I wanted to I want the clarification here. You mentioned that we are no longer calling as a SAFe, but we are taking the best practices, and now that we are releasing monthly. But even in SAFe also, for planning 3 months, we still go by the shorter releases, right? Even then we say as a SAFe 6.0 or whatever, right? So I did not get that exactly. Even in SAFe, we are following like 2 weeks or monthly releases we are having, and we are still calling as SAFe and all. So what is your point there?
Yes, our point is like we are not individual, we are not alone in this game, right? We have the coordination with Microsoft, AWS, and Azure, right? So, sorry, Microsoft is Azure, right? So Google, GCP, AWS, and Azure. We have to collaborate with these three companies, these three organizations as well. It is not just we individually doing the things. So when we have to do these integrations and everything, the plans are getting changed every now and then, right? So we are inviting them, we are having that conversations, but whatever works, they might not be what do you say, integrating or collaborating. A lot of challenges are coming up in this way. So the plans are keep on changing every now and then. So that is where the challenges started coming up, and the teams started having a concern. Do we really need to do the PI planning? We just one example, like one of the PI planning, we focused everything on AWS because that is one of the priority, not the AWS, sorry, Microsoft, sorry, Google. Google is a priority. We planned everything and we did the planning. Immediately within a week, we got to know that we can't continue with the Google implementation. We need to keep it on hold. We need to take up the AWS. So within 1 week of time, the plan got changed.
Okay, it means that changes are coming, not stick to the scope that is being discussed in the PI.
Exactly.
But it's not about the releases, but it's just the changes that are coming, and you're changing the name as like to be constant with 1 month releases, where we will see more constant. Yeah.
The roadmap itself is getting changed, which is not in our control.
Understand.
The vision strategy is still same. The roadmap is getting changed. The priorities are keep on changing, which is not in our scope, which is not in our control. Because of
Okay.
which the safe still works. Safe still help for us to get started. Right?
Sure. Yeah. Understood. Thank you.
Yes. The next question. I don't have an idea about it, so I would like someone to take it. Basic question: what are the DevOps best certifications available in the market?
I think so for this one, from DevOps union perspective, there are certain certifications. Like we have this ICP, ACC, and there are organizations, right? Scrum.org. Like that for DevOps also, we have DevOps union. I don't know about other organization, but I have done in that certified DevOps leader, which will help us to gain a basic understanding of the DevOps concept and how you can run the show with those approaches and all. Then I think you have different levels within that. And in fact, I forgot. So for DevOps engineers, there are certain certifications. So people who want to have a keen certification on the DevOps side, they can do this certified DevOps leader. That is my understanding.
So that certified DevOps leader, is it just talking about the implementation aspect, Sharath, or is it focusing on the tools as well?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Both. It provides sufficient knowledge for us to, as a Scrum Master or as a coach, to run the show in that or to make difference in that area, but not into the core tech perspective of how you implement as a DevOps engineer or something like that.
Got
For
it.
that,
Yes.
they have other technical certifications.
Yeah.
DevOps Union.
Yeah, if that's for a non-technical person as well, that makes sense. So again, I had the same question, like if it's for technical, the major tools in the industry right now are Microsoft Azure, AWS, Kubernetes, Docker and Puppet are another set of tools. And all of these tools have their own certifications for DevOps. And then popular ones, of course, are Microsoft for Azure, AWS, Docker again, Kubernetes again is one of the popular tools as well. So they all have their own DevOps certificates, but they're more of doer things.
Yes, you're right.
And like you're getting your hands dirty.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, if in case we are looking for the pure DevOps implementation, make sure you try with the tools, getting your hands dirty. Only then it helps. Okay, the last question: the transition path from Scrum Master to Agile Coach, recommended certifications of repute.
Oh, I see some good folks who can share their views. Geeta, I think
Anyone want to go it up?
Geeta Murthy, you want to share your thoughts?
I can, if no one wants to go at it.
Sure.
So if you're looking for a non-framework one, just for coaching perspective, I think ICP, ACC is one of the beginner ones. ATF, again, team facilitation, but Agile coaching perspective, ACC is, and then if you want to go higher, ACF, I think is the higher level. That's a non-framework one again, right? Just coaching perspective, power of questioning, your multiple coaching stances and all those things get very well covered in that coaching. If you really want to get knowledge of how a coaching works. Specific to frameworks, SPC, good ones. Yeah, I think those are good ones. The multiple others on the market. I think
I want to contradict on that, Saurabh.
Yeah.
SPC is not an Agile Coach certification.
It
To
is
be
not,
frank,
right? Yeah,
it
no,
is
you're
not.
right.
It is
You're
not.
right.
It is a framework implementation certification. That's it.
Correct.
And the SPC will help us to train others from the safe perspective. Plus, SPC will help us to guide the implementation at the organization perspective, provided we understand the actual implementation aspects. Reason, whenever we go back to the SPC community and have a conversation, or whenever we start having a recruitment for the SPCs or the Agile coaches with that safe implementation perspective, the typical thing we get is like theoretical knowledge, again, which won't help at all. So we need to start understanding the actual implementation aspects, challenges, and only then we can get benefit out of it. And just to mention, like, we are planning to have some hands-on sessions for the safe topics as well, maybe in the new year, not right now. We will plan, or we will publish in the groups. We can have the conversations about that as well.
No, I completely understand that, right? And I'm not saying that, but
Yes,
because of the last sentence of certifications of repute,
yes.
SPC stands a repute, as in the orgs do ask for it, right? Because that's the criteria, that because it comes with that ability to train others in the org, right? It's being asked in multiple orgs in your, like, it's kind of entry barrier for a lot of agile coaches, for a lot of organizations, right? I understand it's just implementation thing and all those things. You're right about everything. Thanks.
So, what's the question? How a Scrum Master evolve as an Agile coach, right? That's the question.
No, what is the transition from Scrum Master to Agile Coach, and any certifications to focus on?
Right. I think from that perspective, people can share their thoughts.
Yeah. So one thing is like ICP ACC from IC Agile. That is just one of the certification, and it is just a 2-day certification. Just by doing ICP ACC, the course name is Agile Coaching, but that doesn't make us a Agile coach. We need to understand that. We need to understand the ground reality, right? There are multiple things which we need to focus on. Only then we can be the Agile coaching stances which I'm showcasing, right? You need to start focusing on that and get it done.
Yeah, my 2 cents are, Scrum Master evolving as an Agile coach. First thing, as Satish and others already told, like in terms of certification, which will help us understand how these two roles are different and how they can make a difference in the projects or the initiatives that you are going to take up, right? And second thing is Scrum Master more or less emphasizes more on the Scrum framework, like our T-shaped skills, and give a less emphasis on the other frameworks. Not in every context. There are organizations, there are lakhs of people who know all the frameworks. Scrum Master also aware of all the frameworks, and he do a strong implementation. But this is how industry sees it, where where he or she will be given more emphasis towards implementing the best practices in the Scrum area, right? But whereas Agile coach, there are two areas, right? One is with respect to implementation of the frameworks, right, as a coach, and other areas in terms of best practices, engineering practices, and how you ensure you create value at the program level, like we all discussed about business agility, this and that, right? So how he creates in over multiple areas his impact as a coach, right? And apart from that, there is some pure coaching, right? Agile coaching, there is some pure coaching in the sense one-on-one, talking to people, understanding their pain points, and how as a coach you help them. So those are the different areas you focus as a coach. So Scrum Master over a period of time gets that experience and that knowledge over multiple areas and evolve as an agile coach, right? And there are few people who directly start their journey as a agile coach. They won't start as a Scrum Master. They just do the ICP, ACC or something, gain that practical knowledge and start their journey as a agile coach. So they also flourish over a period of time. So it depends on where we start and where we land. That is my understanding and which I have seen.
One small point from my side. Maybe I might be missing something, but I never saw any job description for Agile Coach where they are asking ICP ACC as a certification. So we need to understand that concept as well. Like, yes, we are doing ICP ACC and we can start calling ourselves an Agile Coach, but how well the organization is actually giving the value to that. Just for us to get the value, to get the knowledge and understanding, that helps. But just by doing ICP, ACC and start applying as an Agile coach might not help. So from Scrum Alliance perspective, we have a couple of certifications. The certified team coach, certified enterprise coach. The same way from IC Agile perspective, we have ICE AC, Agile coaching, and ICE EC, enterprise coaching. So why I was mentioning about these courses is like each of these courses will take 9 to 12 months of time. These are not 2 days courses. Whether it is a certified CTC, CEC, or ICAC or ICEC, these are all a journey. 9 to 12 months of time it will take to go through end-to-end perspective. We need to do case studies, we need to submit it, we need to do the reviews, we need to work as a teams and groups and get the activities done and everything. That's when we will get the real hands-on experience, which can definitely help us succeed in playing the role of an agile coach.
Yeah, maybe that is the reason, Satish, the companies are not looking, these certifications. 9 months of practice to keeping into that, it's longer journey.
No, 9 months of practice will help you to get a lot of confidence, and definitely you might even go for an enterprise coach role as well, if in case that possibility is there. But yes, that will help us gain a lot of thing. And recently, let me share if I can get that. One organization, Deutsche Bank in Pune, they asked these certifications, all of these. That's the reason I explicitly mentioned about it.
Yeah,
Let
I
me
think
try
I
to bring
shared
it.
that in one of the group, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
But
moment
that's
I saw
the,
that,
yeah.
I was.
It depends on the areas, right?
Yes.
People might need product coach, technical coach, transformation coach. So all those certifications, I think, resemble those areas. And people who want to gain benefit in those areas, they will go for that. I think most of the people don't even know these many certifications are there. Forget about.
So how much does it cost, Satish, for ICAJ?
ICAC, it has a lot of
40
cost
to
associated.
40 to 50K.
No. ICAC, ICAC or ICEC, it will cost like $2,500 to $4,000, I guess. It is very costly.
Wow.
Because it is costly. It is like each organization, the training institute has their own, what do you say, their own way of working or their own thing. I am bringing up that thing. Just a minute. Right. See, the enterprise agile coaching, they have a track as well defined to go through ICP, ENT, CAT, and all doing this, it will help us to go into this enterprise coaching. So for doing this, it has they have given the competencies and everything, and for getting that certification, right? See, ICAC, let me open. So I'm not recommending or anything as such, just sharing.
Yeah.
If in case you want to be a pure agile coach or anything as such, right? see, this is the timelines they gave and the final certification and everything. Let's see if they have the price mentioned anywhere. I don't think. No, they haven't. Let's see. I will try to see because I saw that and I got to know in one of the thing they mentioned the details.
So this IC Agile certifications, are they well recognized
For coaches.
for
For
coaches?
coaches, if it is a pure ICP ACC, it won't. If it is just
Right,
a
see,
ICP ACC, it won't.
Okay.
as Satish told, I think someone has to go on mute.
ICP ENT cost around 25 to 30,000 bucks, right? INR.
Yes, yes.
And then ICP with this CAT will cost around 35.
Yes. See, I'm talking about ICE EC.
Yeah,
It is
including
like,
both. It contains 3 certificates actually. It costs around 90,000 rupees totally.
no.
Yeah,
That is
no. One is business agility is also included in this certificate. Most probably. Yeah. So
no.
business agility costs around this one. Actually, it costs foundation certificate costs around 25,000 most.
I got your point, Hanumanta. I did both ICP ENT
Yeah, I did.
and ICP CAT.
I did easy ENT and CAT. I also did. It cost around 70,000 rupees for me. ICP BAF I have not done, but total I asked them. They told me around 90,000 to 95,000 for total, including BAF.
Yes, I'm talking about this ICEC.
EC. Okay.
Yes.
EC.
Right.
Satish and
See,
Hanuman,
even I did both the ENT and CAT. That time BF is not there. Even I got the opportunity.
Yeah,
of using
that time
both.
BF was not there. Yes.
Yes, but I'm talking about ICEC. Is
EC, I have not consulted, but they told around 40,000 this will happen, but I need to check with them.
No, not 40,000 because just now I cross-checked. It is showing that 3,900 euros.
Okay, it cost too much. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It is a 6-month program. 3,900 euros is by one of the organization.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you, Satish.
Sure.
I think we are at the top of the hour. So it's good. Unless anyone has any questions, it's good if we can sign up so that we can spend some time with our families. Any last minute questions, anyone? If otherwise we can sign up.
Yeah, one very generic question. I think people were asking this anonymous one, but now since it is open, so maybe I can ask. A lot of people have already discussed. So the question is like, right now in some of the organizations, what is happening? They hire a agile person. Now, when we say agile person, it can be a Scrum Master, Agile Project Manager, or Agile Coach or something. They hire even program managers at level. They hire and they ask or they expect them to be kind of at program level just do either safe implementation or they want to right from the scratch, they want to go for the agile transformation project by project and then go to art and then do it. So now in that course of time, what happens? The hiring starts initially, right? With one person getting hired. After that, second person, the agile persons I'm talking about, they get hired. Now the issue happens is like the existing team, which is already there in the organization, few of them, probably they are not yet gelled with that agile. So it is always agile versus non-agile fight. And you see a lot of anti-agile patterns, right? We study about anti-agile patterns, a lot of anti-agile patterns in the organization PC. Like one very small example I'll give. One person we were talking to, they say that I do a 3 weeks development sprint. I said, fine. Now what do you do? When is the testing start? They said the next 3 weeks full testing. So, so agile versus non-agile arguments, fights are going on. So I was just trying to understand, is there a way, because coaching also is not helping. That's what I'm saying. So we talked about a lot of certification, right? Satish, you had shown some of the many certifications. Just imagine a person is certified going as a coach. He's hired as a coach, but kind of he's getting into the situations where nobody is listening to him, and that includes many people at the top level also. So, do you people also face this situation? If so, how to handle that so that you can actually go into the transformation in bits and pieces gradually over the period of time? Anyone can answer if they have.
No, it's a common trend that happens across all organizations, right? You can't transform the entire universe, right? Wherever you have opportunities, there you have some kind of dialogue, or people come your way and they ask you like how we can transform, what needs to be done, how we can move forward, because they already have that mindset. Few teams at the leadership level, you talk to them and they get I don't say convinced, they align with our thoughts and they wish to come forward, and that those kind of engagements will move forward. There are certain gray areas where despite you trying to giving some message about this transformation, they are not they are in no mood to listen to you, right? Forget about getting the change, because they, including their leadership, are aligned with their thoughts of traditional ways.
Correct.
So you can't talk to them much. You focus on getting value in these two areas where people are believing you and trusting you. Create that value, show those measurable results, and automatically that peer pressure will reflect into the other domains where some people are wait and watch. Some people they don't believe. Some people are wait and watch. Kuch dikha na, then they'll probably. So this is how the transformation gradually scatters to different areas.
Right. In some cases, what happens is like, even if we show the example that you gave, like show them the results or the matrices or the whatever you achieved in last maybe few months of time. Even after showing the result, there are certain changes which happens, which actually, distorts the entire agile patterns that is set by the group of 2-3 who have entered as a agile, pro agile people. All the anti-agile people, they just overpower them. So this is the challenge.
That happens. See, say for example, you are working in a project where it's you're using pure agile ways of working, right? And you have a dependency with 3 multiple applications, without which this won't reach the destination, and they are following traditional framework. How you run the project? Without their support, you can't take the product live. So that is where your situation comes in. That is where your role will be there, right? How you balance and manage these things. Everything is going fine. You need a scrum master and a coach. No one needs. So how you manage these things, how you ensure that our delivery is going as per the expectations, and they reach that milestone of whatever, then you align with them with their thought process, dependencies, issues, and get their delivery so that you can integrate and take the product live. So yeah, there you see lot of anti-pattern. Your idea is let's convince them also so that they can also become used to agile ways of working, running sprints or Kanban or what. But they are not willing to change. That time you see all these anti-patterns. You have to go with the flow and get those things done. You need to maintain those good collaboration things and everything, and take the product live. So it happens.
Yeah. So, thanks, Sharon.
That's how the journey I see in a different person. That's how the journey will be exciting. Otherwise, everyone is following, right?
Correct.
You don't have much role to play. Maybe you can look for another project.
Right. The way it's like, the way agile people are trying to convince the other team. Similarly, the anti-agile guys are trying to convince you that this is my way of working and this is the correct one.
But people are smart, na?
Yeah.
The other person might be telling, as you told, you are telling your version. People are smart. They they see where the value is coming in. Of course, there are some nuts, right? Who want to listen to their, those people are called influencers or chickens in the team. Right? They strongly influence other people's thought process, even though they want to change. You have to bear with those people and move forward. Ultimately, leadership knows now who is creating value. Result driven. It's not कहानी कुछ भी बोल सकते हैं. At the end, results matter. Okay, I think we can sign up for today unless anyone has any questions. All right, thanks everyone. Thanks Satish, thanks everyone.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sharad. Thanks, Satish.
everyone.
Thanks,
Yeah,
everyone.
we'll meet next month. Maybe first, every month first probably will be connecting. Okay, thanks everyone. Bye.
Sure. Thank you, Sharad. Thank you.
Bye all.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.